From children performing surgery to a 3-year-old girl dressed up like a hooker, we take a look at 10 unbelievable things kids were actually allowed to do. Number 10. Perform surgery. Directors of the Indian Medical Association were stunned when members of a local chapter contacted them to report that they had seen a video of a teenage boy performing surgery. 15-year-old Dilipin Raj had allegedly performed a cesarean section on a pregnant 20-year-old relative under the guidance of his parents, who were both doctors, and owners of the Mati Surgical and Maternity Hospital, where the procedure had taken place. After the boy's father administered anesthesia to the patient, he recorded a video of Dilipin's performance, apparently hoping that his son would be featured in the Guinness Book of World Records. Thankfully, the baby was delivered without incident. Number 9. Sail around the world alone. No fewer than 6 people under 18 years old have sailed around the globe alone, hoping to become the youngest person to do so. In 2010, Dutch teen Laura Dekker spent 17 months aboard her vessel Guppy, setting out at age 14 and finishing her 50,000-kilometer journey at 16. Her initial departure, planned for the year before, had been blocked by the Dutch government, who questioned Dekker's sailing ability, psychological state, and her parents' judgment. Number 8. Get a tattoo. Most parents would never allow their child to get a tattoo, but not only does it happen more often than you'd think, many of them do the inking themselves even though they're not licensed. A surprising number of parents have been arrested for tattooing their own young children, and many of them were surprised to hear that what they had done was against the law. Perhaps the most widely publicized incident was that involving Patty Jo Marsh and Jacob Bartles, who tattooed 6 of the 7 children in their blended family using a device fashioned from a plastic pen and a guitar string needle. Number 7. Fire an Uzi. In a shocking incident earlier in 2014, 39-year-old shooting range instructor Charles Vodka was killed when his student lost her grip on the Uzi submachine gun she was firing. The most shocking part? The shooter was only 9 years old. The girl was on vacation with her family who went to the Bullets and Burgers shooting range outside Las Vegas. She was firing the weapon to check it off her bucket list. Many members of the public were outraged that a child was allowed to handle a weapon which fires 5 rounds in a third of a second, and that kids as young as 8 could do so legally at the range. Number 6. Work as an air traffic controller. An air traffic controller at New York's JFK Airport found himself in hot water after he brought his 9-year-old twins to work with him and let them relay instructions to pilots. Glenn Duffy allowed his son to speak to at least 5 pilots over the radio during the President's Day holiday, telling them, "That's what you get, guys, when the kids are out of school." Duffy did the same thing the next day, this time allowing his daughter to use the mic. Number 5. Drink vodka. The parents of a 10-year-old girl were shocked to discover that their daughter had become severely intoxicated while at a friend's house. When the girl didn't return home from visiting her friend at the home of Paul White, Crystal Chamberlain and Jamie Taft sent their teenage daughter over to collect her. However, she found empty bottles, a bucket of vomit, and her sister slurring her words and unable to walk. The 3 5th graders in the home were taken to the hospital, where Chamberlain and Taft's daughter's blood alcohol level tested at 0.084, over the legal limit for adults to drive. Number 4. Climb a mountain. At age 13, Jordan Romero became the youngest person in the world to climb Mount Everest. He was already an experienced climber who had conquered the 7 summits, the highest peaks on each continent, including scaling Mount Kilimanjaro at the age of 10. Romero's climb, which he made with his father, stepmother, and 3 Sherpas, sparked controversy and a debate about parental responsibility. The youngest female to climb Everest was also 13. Number 3. Dress like Pretty Woman. Viewers of TLC's Toddlers and Tiaras, which follows child pageants, were stunned to see 3-year-old pageant contestant Paisley dressed as Julia Roberts' prostitute character Vivian from the 1990 film Pretty Woman. The routine on the already controversial television show had Paisley strutting around the stage in an outfit consisting of a miniskirt, bare midriff, thigh-high boots, and a blonde wig. There was a public outcry that the show was sexualizing children, and it was condemned by the Parents Television Council. Number 2. Be a designated driver. Surveillance video at a gas station caught footage of a van jerkily pulling up to the pumps at 3 o'clock a.m. and a young driver emerging. That driver was a 9-year-old girl whose dad, Sean Weimar, had consumed half a bottle of whiskey. After a bystander reported the incident to police, Weimar found himself in trouble when surveillance footage caught him bragging to the clerk inside the station that his young daughter had driven him to the station because he was too drunk. Number 1. Get married. On a lighter note, 9-year-old Jayla Cooper married her best friend, 7-year-old Jose Griggs, at a touching ceremony in Texas. The reason for the unusual nuptials? Jayla was stricken with an aggressive form of leukemia, and her last wish was to be a bride. Jayla and Jose had met at a Halloween party at the hospital where they were both being treated for cancer, though Jose had a more treatable form of the disease and had a positive prognosis.